Hello, Aquarius, and welcome to a timeless Justice for Aquarius reading. Whatever brings you here as far as being affiliated to the sign of Aquarius and or the latter is in true form to being here in this moment and seeing whether or not anything within this reading is for you. Bear in mind you have tapped into a collective reading I, 7th, am holding at this time. This is not a personal one-to-one connection. I read energies for this channel specifically for Sekhmet. This is her channel. To gain access to her sister channel of Bastet, feel free to check out the description box below. Know that as a justice reading, you may find that this could be coming across as merciful and or merciless to you. However, that is in true form to however she would like the messages or the insight to be disclosed. I, 7th, the interpreter of these insights, will deliver these interpretations to the highest vibrational form bestowed upon me. This is so much different already than fire element. This is wild. This is interesting as well. Okay, so let's get back to it. Please remember, again, this is not a one-to-one connection, all right? Personal, collective insight. So take the bits and pieces that you like and leave anything behind with me as you leave the reading behind that you did not. Please remember that feminine and masculine energies are non-gender specific. However, femininity has both feminine and masculine energies. Masculinity as well as feminine and masculine energies. Lastly, if you'd like more information as to who I am as 7th, the description box below will have a website for you where you can find out that information as well as book as any services that I have available for you. All right, Justice for Aquarius. I think some of y'all's problem that you don't really know is a problem is that you hide behind other people for your success. Meaning also that if you're at a stage in life that you have an ability to gain of some sort, or you could learn, or maybe be in a position where the universe really needs to work better on exposing you to the idea of building inner trust, and so be it. But my point here is that there is a disconnect within yourself that you at least acknowledge, and you only step into the power of combating that disconnect when you see other people do something that gives you the courage to do it as well. And that's part of the problem, because I see a lot of you reach actual high intellectual ability, especially of thought here. Your compassion stretches far and wide. The ability for you to be a happy social hour for someone is more chances of that than not. That it seems to be a lot of opportunities here that could be utilized for your favor to take in those transactions, the things that I think at the end of the day you'd say, yeah, I'm grateful for these things, as resources to internally do better with yourself. Because the internal world is where there are a lot of fractures, and you're not really showing up to dealing with them. You're not. And that's the sad energy I've kind of felt since the beginning of the reading. Like there's this sadness to you that wants to say something but also doesn't want to share the story. And then there's a mockery behind it a bit, because it's being pressed with other aspects of yourself that are getting engaged, and it doesn't feel engaged, where it feels the pressure of the other ones that do get engaged, those other personalities, like a chance to thrive. And because you're not focusing on it, you're not finishing the story. That's part of the, almost like that ego thing. If you finish the story, then the mystery of what would happen after the story is being told the first time, you don't know life without it. So that could be a residual fear of not telling the whole story yet, or not really getting the full story of a certain picture, or still maybe also missing a vital piece of information to fulfill a story, which then would mean you're in the stratosphere of the audience of this reading, but you're not in the stratosphere of responsibility within this reading. That's where you're going to have to figure out who's what on that chess game. But there is an awareness of, like, certain things that you'd like to be least judged on. And that's where you stretch your empathy and compassion to other people. I do see that. And I do see you working a lot on the internal meet external. But you're realizing that if you haven't done this a lot in your life, for the internal to match the external, you realize that all of a sudden there's a lot of mismatches. And if you realize one mismatch, it opens up a box of questions, which lead to more questions, which lead to more questions. And for some of you who have stepped into this acceptance of self-perception, analytic, I can't say it, it's just not coming out. Self-analyzations. That first discovery made that then almost like it's hindering you to showing up to other aspects of healing, let's put it that way, or addressing inner conflicts. Because it's like maybe you didn't have any questions going in besides knowing that something needs to be discussed. And now as you're focusing on that focus, one, if not many more than needed questions seem to come up. But that's your self doing, and that's the trick of the trade where this might be so much and so too much for someone to be like, what did you just say to me? At the point I'm trying to allude to is that there is a fascination of control that you have with a world that you can be attentive to when you have your eyes open, and wherever that eye open takes you, whether that's tending to your house, tending to your relationship, tending to the person behind the mirror, in front of the mirror, maybe also behind the mirror, your neighbor, your attitude at work, the external voice, the external aspect of things that you have your eyes on. You do your best to show up and make that the most peaceful, the most least resistant form of pathway, always. That's some humanitarian aspect of you. And then there's a world where you show up and close eyes that is a functioning world of its own. Whether or not it functions well or not is as seesaw-ish and up in the air as the waking times, right? You might have a good day at work, you might have a shit day at work, it might begin good, it might end bad, it might begin bad and end good. There are different trajectories on where these things can go. And that's the same with the closed eyes, meaning you may have one night good sleep, another night not so much. You might have a very visceral dream and then remember good parts of the dream. You might remember a visceral dream, not any parts of the dream. There are likabilities to the desire of control that you have about yourself. And I say desire because I can see where you're trying to transactionalize certain decisions that work in your favor, not just for yourself and for another. That's a humanitarian aspect for you as well. Yet I don't want it to get lost the way it got lost before, where you were trying to check off these checks and balances for yourself and another, and then the other took over and you completely lost yourself. It's like the demands that needed to be met by this other become higher and higher priority, higher and higher of a standard, and you wanted to be around to satisfy them. And the more you did, you stretched and stretched and stretched and stretched and stretched to put things onto the pedestal of where the shelf of where they wanted it, to the placeholders. But then the further you go, you can't stretch so far anymore on your tippy toes. You're going to ask for assistance and get on a ladder. right? And maybe the ladder's not even around or even handy. So there's only so much you can do. And that's a certain pattern within the last 3 years that has really showed up in this tiny and absolutely massive exposure to being a very loud pattern in your world. I mean, sorry if this is loud, but I can't avoid it. Yes, everyone is, we all share an ebb and flow of life. I'm not asking or making someone to look at things on a secular level or even dissect it. Keep it in the human species. All right? And the human species is inundated in itself with the ebbs and flows of life. I don't know what that was, but what I can say is very fucking mentally draining. Yep, look at that death card. Like, it's fucking pattern. Something has to end. In my head, this is so loud. I know it's not that loud over there, but it might be annoying, and for that, I apologize. Death card, you say, huh? Alright. Mm-hmm. The Hangman. These are recognizing your patterns in life. Yep. What fits, what doesn't. What's that? Insane. These cards just represent everything I just got done saying. Like, how is it that these two kings brought me into that conversation in the way that I did? This is the answer. And it's not the answer because I saw the answer already. This is just the visual cue. So these are patterns that are happening. And depending where you are in accepting the centered groundedness or the point of things, the more you'll understand the moral compass that needs to be stretched and where it needs to go, because it's all going to be about you. All about you. The illumination starts with being curious about life, all about you. And it can be about being mystified where the curiosity of self is going to take you. What does it mean to have destiny? What does it mean to have an afterlife, before life, and all that shit? What happens after death? And no matter what, you're going to feel the experience as visceral as it is because you're in your body to feel the pinging. So ping you however it wants to, period. So it's very personal. It's so personal, yeah, you can't get away from it, and that's why it exhausts the body, exhausts the mental, it exhausts opportunities, it exhausts emotions. And let me tell you something, if you feel like you're connected to divinity, but you're fucking this tired, I would reconsider what you're doing, because there's no way that you can be this close to divinity and have that hard of a hard time feeling weight come off your shoulder. What is going on? That's it. All right. I'm wishing you a wonderful morning, noon, or night, wherever you are in the ether of time and space, and may you keep flowing, growing, and glowing. Take care.